Okay, so I'm gonna do the layout. The first one that came with the March kit. So this is the supplies that you need to gather here. So I've got my pictures. I've got these little bits that they show up there. Now most of these little embellishments are on this puffy sticker pack that I'm not gonna separate out. This is a piece of scrapbooking paper, cardstock that I cut into a strip. Now my florals here are a little bit different because I didn't get floral scent in my kit, and so they have reached out to me and are sending me the florals. I also have this Love the Stay tag, the circle tag. This is going to be this glitter frame, and then this guy here. I also pulled out this cat. I'm going to add to this since my daughter's dressed up in a Hello Kitty blanket. And then I didn't have this leaf here, so I'm going to actually replace that with just a butterfly. I tend to be a really slow scrapbooker, so these pre-made kind of pages are kind of nice for when you're wanting to get stuff scrapped quickly. Okay, so it shows that we're going to put this tag up here. I can grab it. That tag's going to go kind of there-ish. This is going to get tucked behind here. So it looks like that's going to be kind of there-ish. And my photos aren't quite 2x3s, but close enough. So it looks like one's going to go here. One's going to overlap this one a little bit, like that. And then this one's going to go here-ish. Looks like this will go the length of the photos. And obviously I can trim this down. So I'll trim that down a little bit. This tag is going to go here. So I'm just getting everything laid out. Okay, just to kind of see where it's all going to go. All right. This is going to go here. This actually looks like, well, that probably will be fine there. Go like that. And then this frame, because this, it says that you have to stick this up on foam adhesive, since this obviously is a foam sticker. So this will go kind of here-ish. And then add the florals over here. So this looks like this is going to kind of go tuck in kind of right here-ish. This I picked this flower out to replace this white one. So that looks like that's going to go. Oh, so I need to tuck my tag in a little bit further. So this is all going to kind of move down a little bit. Well, okay, so there we go. That's a little bit better. I mean, obviously it's not going to be, you know, since my pictures aren't quite 2x3s, we'll have to kind of play around a little bit with it to make it work. All right. This little floral bit I am using to replace this guy here, essentially. So this will go kind of down here somewhere. All right, and then it looks like you add this little piece is supposed to kind of rest up here somewhere. So I might, because I've got the orange there, no, I might pick out a different floral bit for that. Just because I've got like heavy orange over here. And then this is where that leaf is that I don't have. So I was thinking about putting a butterfly like somewhere you know, here-ish, which now that I've got this here, that's really not even a problem, but I might still working on the page. Okay. And then it looks like we'll do some embellishments. So like this is gonna go here. Okay, so we'll get all this stuff off here. Okay, and we'll start to get all this stuff layered again. So I think first things first, I don't want to put this tag down yet until I have my photographs kind of where I'm going to put them. So I'm going to go ahead and back them on some foam. And this is just like craft foam that I bought from off of Amazon. Okay, there's that one. Here's this one. And then we'll do this guy. So I'm scrapbooking in complete silence right now, just so that people can kind of hear my voice. I tend to mumble a little bit. And I usually, when I scrapbook, sit here and watch shows. I've been really into The Pit here lately with Noah Wiley. I grew up watching ER and kind of went into the medical field partly because of it. So I absolutely love that he's back on TV. He was one of my faves. Yeah, work with the, so I'll have to get these, then this set down with the photos. And then we can move on from there. So I guess the first things first is to get this tag and that circle down. So I'm just gonna kind of loosely place it there just because sometimes I think it's where it needs to be and then I look and I'm like, oh, not even close. Oh, dang it. Okay, and this will kind of go there like this, and that again like that. And again, I can move this guy up. So, all right, and then this is gonna go underneath that. So, and I want to be able to see that. So, okay, so there's that. And then the next thing we're gonna have to probably do is get this foam. And then I'll probably have to even cut off some more foam from this since this will be set up on it. All right, so let's see here. All right. These are so pretty. I don't know if the camera's catching that. Okay, so, all right. So I'm just gonna kind of lift this up and kind of guesstimate about where I want it. Obviously want to make sure enough of it's hanging out below this that you see it. Okay, so that's gonna kind of go there. Okay, so we're gonna get this glued down. I'm gonna commit. always nervous because I used to never glue. I used to always just do adhesive. But like with this foam backing, I'm never sure how well the adhesive's going to really stick to it. So I always glue anytime I use foam. I have to say, getting these like little projects in the kit is kind of nice because, like I said, I'm a very slow scrapbooker, and sometimes like to have something like this, it's kind of nice because you don't really have to think so much about it, and you can get some of your pictures down. I feel like that's one of the things with scrapbooking is it can be a little stressful because you do think about all the pictures that you have. And now, because I started scrapbooking, 20 years ago, so we didn't have, iPhones and all that where you were constantly taking pictures. So it's like now the volume of pictures that we have to scrapbook is a lot more than what we used to. So I feel like sometimes it can be a little daunting, a little overwhelming, but I try to just, my approach is to, if I see a paper I like and it makes me think of a certain picture or whatever, or kind of a theme I want to do, I just go ahead and use that. So I don't tend to really plan mine out. And I used to be like somebody that would try to scrapbook in order, and I found myself getting kind of bored with that and not being as creative. So now I just scrapbook. I'll pick out paper that I like, scrapbook with that paper, pick out the picture around the paper, or if I see a picture that I feel like would work, I really have like a good theme idea around it, then I'll build a whole layout around that picture. So I kind of just do what I feel. And I try not to let myself beat myself up over too much, like, looking at all these pictures that I have still to scrapbook, because when I was having, I went through graduate school and had a couple kids, I really wasn't scrapbooking then because I just didn't have the time. And then we moved, like that was mixed in with having kids, and so it was just something I kind of didn't have much of an opportunity to do as much. And so I really quite recently kind of got back into it, even though I kind of would intermittently do it here and there. I've kind of like gotten more into it now as a hobby. So that's going to go there. Oh, so I got to get this tag underneath there before this glue dries. Dang it. Oh, well, that's going to be that. So let me get this here. Hope I don't mess up this frame. I wasn't paying enough attention. Okay, so this is going to kind of go here-ish. Let me get that in there before this all dries. Try not to get it all over my pictures. So that looks like that's set up fairly high, and part of it's showing through the frame there, so I think that's as far as I'm going to go with that there. Okay, and then let me get this back down. Okay. We also have to get this tag down, so we're kind of working at this point now with this here. So we've got to get this guy down here, so that'll kind of go there-ish. I honestly have to say too, like, what's nice about this is, it allows you to like do a layout fairly quickly, because I usually will take, most of my layouts take anywhere from like 2 hours to up to 4 to 5. I'm just really slow at it. Depends on if I'm scrap lifting. That tends to get a little bit quicker, but if I'm like trying to kind of brainstorm and come up with my own kind of idea or own layout, sometimes it takes me longer. I tend to fuss a lot with stuff, Okay, so now we're going to start getting the flower clusters done over on this side. Okay, so this is going to go kind of here-ish, right here. So I might actually add another cluster up here because this probably is a bigger cluster than what I was using. So let me see if I can find another flower cluster to go there. Just kind of tuck that in there. Okay, that looks, get this guy turned there. All right, I think I like that pretty good there. Okay. The one thing too I've learned in scrapbooking is I used to anguish over every little embellishment I would pick out. Oh my God, is this the right one? Is that the wrong one? You know, am I gonna regret not using this? And I've learned just go with what your gut is telling you to do, and it'll turn out fine. So I don't know that this is really gonna work there anymore. I kind of don't like it there now. So I think I'm gonna just leave that alone since I added this bigger floral cluster there to kind of make up for the fact that I think this one's maybe a little bit smaller. And then maybe I'll still go with this guy down here. I don't know. Kind of like the butterfly there. So we'll keep that there. Okay. And then this is going to go, looks like kind of tucked right here. Partly over this label. Uh-oh. Oh, maybe I'll move it up just a little bit. Okay, there we go. I kind of like it there better. All right, so there we go with that. Okay, so that's this next. So we've essentially done this part here. So we've gotten the floral clusters over here. We've gotten the yellow tag, the little stamp here, and then that piece of cardstock that way. Now their cardstock, this, of course, my tag ends a little earlier, but you know. Okay, so let's get this stuff glued down real quick. So I started doing my own tutorials, or process videos, I guess I should say. Just because I feel like they've helped me out so much. And I love watching HipKit videos. I've watched so many of them. But that's how you get good ideas. And then like with layouts like this, it gives you an opportunity to learn, you know, maybe not, because I mean, this isn't really anything I would have really thought up. So it's kind of nice because it kind of makes you like look at the products a little bit differently, and maybe even like in the future use different kind of similar techniques. So this is one thing I think is really hard in scrapbooking, is learning how to layer. I'm just gonna get this down just a little bit because I like that bloom and grow. I want to be able to see that. It says bloom and grow there, which I think is really cute. Okay. All right. So we got all that stuff. Now we're gonna essentially start to embellish. So looks like we've got some hearts. So I picked out pink because my daughter loves pink. So It has a yellow, but I picked out a pink instead. And then we're going to do this guy over here-ish. Picked out a light blue. Yeah. I'm going to go with this one because I feel like it pulls in that tag color really well. Okay, so let me just pop these little guys out. I need to start looking up layouts for Disney because we're going to Disney here in a few months, and I know I will take a ton of pictures there. So okay, so that's gonna go kind of right here, above here, right here. All right, so found that, put that there, and I think we're just gonna embellish now. So that goes there, and then it looks like heart here, and then a couple more little embellishments there. And I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put this kitty cat. So I'm just gonna add that to the, I think probably here. I think she looks cute there. Okay. So now I'm just gonna kind of embellish. I probably am not gonna totally follow the layout, but I feel like I need something orange here. So I think I'm gonna go with this orange heart. Just to pull in some, because there's, you know, the orange heart over here. Do an orange heart over here. And I don't know, I'm feeling like I want to do like a little floral here too. But the problem being, I already adhered this part down. Well, maybe I can tuck it underneath there a little bit. I almost feel like that's too much. I really think I want this floral here. Let me double check and make sure that's the one I want. See, that's what's nice about this is it gives you ideas, you know, and obviously you don't have to follow it exactly, or can follow pieces of it. That's what's really nice about having this little sketch, because then it gives you good ideas. Okay, so I'm just going to cut that little guy off, and then I think do my best to tuck him in behind this guy. If I can. Oh, I see. He's getting stuck on that. So I'd like to try to get him behind this if I can. But I also had to hear part of that down. Okay, so, and then get that leaf. So I'm going to cut this leaf off. Get it tucked in there. I just feel like I wanted florals up here because I feel like the top of this page looks a little, and maybe because I've moved it down further. I'm really hoping I'm not crookedy on this. I kind of almost feel like things look a little crookedy, so I'm hoping. If anything, and what I've found is if I'm crooked on a page, a lot of time what I'll do to disguise it is cut straight, and then I'll just back it on something. So that's one thing, like if you feel like your page looks crookedy, because I'm kind of like feeling like it looks a little crookedy. You can always kind of cut this out and then remount it. You know, or even cut it to stress it a little bit, you know. That's one thing that's scrapbooking. You can always a lot of time glue over and hide your mistakes. So, which is kind of nice about it. Which really, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, it's doesn't have to be perfect, so. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna move the kitty cat up. I don't think I want it there. I feel like that competes with the picture. I just kind of want it as, not like as an afterthought, because, you know, I think it would go good here or here. No, I still feel like I like it here. The only thing is I'm kind of feeling like, is it blending in a little bit too much with that tag? And I don't want to put it here and hide that pretty frame. Here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with right there. Okay. And then I'm just gonna kind of freestyle the rest of the embellishments, which, you know, you could follow it. It looks like they got 3 dots there. Heart, a little flower, maybe another little dot, flower and heart. But I'm just gonna kind of, since I have changed a little bit, I'm just gonna kind of freestyle. Put that right there. My daughter's middle name's Rose, so that's kind of applicable, right? I want to use some of these sparkly dots. So, let's see if I've got any on this other page. Where did I put it? Want a blue one over here. And I also feel like, let's see here, since I got blue, 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 I want to add a little bit of blue up here too. But I don't know if that's too close to that heart. I got one, because I got, well, we'll put one here, and then maybe we need to put a sparkly heart down here instead of one of these guys. So let's maybe change this one. I'll put a solid color on that instead. Okay. Let's go with this green because we got that green tag up there. So we'll do this green. All right. Okay. And then I feel like I kind of want to fill that in since that's kind of like a little blank spot there. So this is just a little puffy sticker that says Live Life in Full Bloom. Do I want something here? I feel like it's looking a little too clustery over here. I feel like I need something kind of peeking out from behind here though. Okay, see what this looks like up against this here. Okay. All right. Okay. I actually kind of need to get this. All right. All right. I'll write down. Yeah, I feel like that. Okay. Okay. All right. I feel like that's looking pretty good. I don't know that I really want to put too much more on it because then I feel like then it might get to be too much. Okay. So I think I'm done, and I might add just a little string up here just to add. Actually, I think I might do that real quick. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, I like that much better. Okay. All right, so we'll cut this off. There's, now this ribbon I bought, it came like in a bundle. It was from Michaels. The scissors have gotten dull. My son likes to take them and use them for little projects, and he has just absolutely dulled them. Okay, so and here's some of the ribbon that came in that bundle from Michaels. So it was a bunch of like Easter, and they had like different kinds. So they had like kind of a Christmas one. And this is what it is. Trim bundle. So it just came like that. And then I got a black and white one too. So, okay. Okay, so I like that. We'll get, and I always whenever I put ribbon, I always go ahead and glue it down so it stays in the spot where I want it to stay forever. Okay. All right. Okay. And then I'm just going to journal this. So basically this picture was my daughter was coming up to show me her fancy shoes and her Hello Kitty outfit. So anyway, so there you go. There's the completed layout. And that took me what? I don't know, maybe an hour or so. Which normally a page like this would have taken me way longer. And here's the completed layout. After I had filmed the process video, I decided to add some border paper, and it was pink polka dotted, which I thought complemented the black and white paper really well.